I can't find it. I'm not acting, by the way. I know I'm like new and you're getting a feel for my personality, but I was going to, I can't even talk. It's like not that big of a deal. Okay, I'm still gonna do it. I was going to just review the notes to make sure, and I was messing around and I highlighted the whole text, all of my notes for the video, and I accidentally deleted them because I was trying to highlight them all and make them smaller so I could see them all at once. Whatever. I'm just gonna move on because I'm just getting too dysregulated thinking that I just did that. I worked on it yesterday for probably like 4 or 5 hours, and I recorded it, like a little snippet of me scrolling through how long it was, and I sent it to my partner last night. And I was like, look, I wrote out the whole video, but I just didn't have the spoons to record it. And then today, for the last 2 or 3 hours, I've been getting ready to record. And I sit down just now and I lose it. I lost the whole thing. So I'm going to just try to go off memory, but I am really dysregulated. But I'm not going to redo this because I just want to show people that it's normal for people on the spectrum to get really emotional and have like really strong emotional reactions. And it doesn't mean that you're depressed. Like, this isn't a sign of depression. This is a sign of like what usually I feel like most people would get frustrated, and most people would maybe like, I don't know, like slam a door or maybe like cuss or something like that. And to me, I just feel like it's a flood. Like, I feel like that emotion fills my entire body all at once. And because I'm a woman, especially when it's like 4 or 5 days out of the month, I'm very, very sensitive because men are on a 24-hour hormonal cycle and women are on a 28-day hormonal cycle. I'm going to edit any of this if I mess stuff up. I usually don't like to edit my videos. I like it to just be raw, but I think that this one might need some editing. But yeah, anyways, there's like 4 or 5 days out of every 28 days that I'm struggling a lot. And today was already one of those, and I didn't want to film the video. This is the longest intro ever, but I'm just really emphasizing that if if something gets redirected and it's like not what you planned and it's really hard, you just need to push through it and do it anyways. Not always, but when you can. Like today I can. I know it's going to be hard, but I can. So I'm going to pull it together. But speaking of being overly emotional about things, I just like to document. I just got done crying because every single time I listen to the bridge in GUI by Lady Gaga, I weep just because it's gorgeous. Like her voice when she's like, what does she say? 'Cause I'm strong enough to know the truth. And then she with you. Oh my gosh, it makes me sob. So yeah, I dried up my tears and I'm like, you know what, I need to document that. I think I need ping pong. Ping pong, can you come here to me? Come here, Ping. Can you come here? You're the best girl. I appreciate you. I need you a lot. Well, in that case, I'm not gonna need my laptop. I'm just gonna try to, you're going to spill it. Oh, okay. No more crying. This is one of my favorite little blankets. It is Little Unicorn is the brand. I've bought 3 of their blankets now, and they've always been really good. I'm not like sponsored by them or anything. I'm like a teeny little channel. These are really comforting. I love to just have like little blankets. It's the material of this one, and it's the feel of the material, and it has, sorry, I'm trying to like distract myself to like dry up the tears. This is a coping skill, okay? And it has little dragons all over it, like a little dragon print, and I really like it because the dragons have speckles on them, and it reminds me of Spyro. When I was younger, I played the first Spyro on PS1, and that was one of my favorite games. So I'm gonna have that because I also just really want to normalize using things to make yourself feel better. So yeah, the laptop's not gonna be in the video. I'm just gonna wing it. But I want to talk about autism and irritability. My. So where to begin? As a child, I had really bad temper tantrums, and as an adult, I've had really bad temper tantrums, and I will be the first to admit that. It's taken me a really long time to acknowledge that, but I have gotten in trouble with people. I've gotten in trouble with the law a couple of times. Like, I've never hurt anyone, but I have gone to jail a couple of times just because I had an episode and I got so mad, or I got, so emotional. And I've also, had to be taken to the hospital a few times just because my behavior was so out of control. I wasn't necessarily at risk all of these times, but my behavior was out of control, especially if I was living with partners that were similar to my age, in like my early 20s. And so they didn't know what to do with me. And so these extreme behaviors would land me in jail or in a hospital. And the people there don't know what to do with someone like me, but especially someone with autism. Like, because at the time I didn't know that I was autistic. I'm talking like I had these problems, almost a decade ago. And I just found out I was autistic this last year. And so it's really, really affecting me, and I didn't realize it. Just my irritability. I don't have anger issues. I've never been violent towards other people or like animals or anything like that. I just want to say that. But I just have really bad irritability, and my sensory problems get really bad. Oh yes, Pong and I are about to go to the dog park, but I just wanted to say that don't look at my cabinets. Yeah, my irritability has also caused problems with family members that I'm responsible for. But yeah, it caused problems with family members to the point that I can't live with any of them. None of them want me in their homes. And like, I don't really blame them because there is always some commotion with me. Like, there's always some episode, some meltdown, some sensory problem. Like, they can't use cleaners around me. They can't play music or like watch this, or like, there's my chicken. Yeah, I am pretty obnoxious to live with. So I just want to say that, but a lot of that was my irritability. A lot of that is me like exploding at family members and screaming at them, which you should never do. So I couldn't live with them, and that has made me homeless. Because I can't live with family when I have nowhere else to go, and like I don't have a job, or like, I get out of a horrible relationship, or like whatever. Sometimes I need my family, and unfortunately at this point I've kind of burnt all my bridges one episode at a time. Ouch. Sorry, that's the first time I've said that out loud. But it's so important. Do not let your irritability get in the way. How to handle autism and irritability, and not just my autism, but the autism that I've observed working with, we'll say at least like half a dozen people, and their irritability, who were autistic. So I'm going to kind of keep them floating in my head. I'm not going to mention any names, because some of it is personal experience, like people that I've been in relationships with, or like friends, or it's also going to be professional. So it's going to be like, clients that I worked with, and their kids and adults. Sorry, I feel like this is so scrambled, but we're just going to keep trucking through it. Whew, we're just going to keep going. Thank you for the encouragement. Um, autism and irritability. So, a lot of it is antecedent manipulation. So that's going to be from like a clinical perspective. This is how in ABA, real quick, I just want to say with ABA, I don't really know. I feel like it can help some people. I feel like it doesn't help other people because ABA is a style of therapy. And as so many channels on YouTube have established, autistic people are so different that you can't really assign one therapy to all autistic people, I think. Especially some kids that I've worked with, you know, I lost my train of thought now. I'm just trying, like, I don't even know if I'll edit this stuff out because I kind of want to show what it's like when it looks like you should be able to function, right? It looks like you should be able to do all the other things that my peers do, you know, all the things that people my age do, but I can't do a lot of those things. And people are like, well, why not? You look like them, you know, minus the dragon costume, because I don't wear this in public. I do wear it around the house, but okay, back on track. I am just so emotional about that. And now I have, no direction. I'm just trying to grasp little pieces as I go from typing it all out yesterday. Yeah, antecedent manipulation. So most of the time, autism and irritability, the best solution for that is going to be manipulating it before it happens. So manipulate the things that cause you to be irritable. For me, that's like sensory problems are huge. It was this last year that I started putting it together after I got diagnosed that when I do get irritable, up until this point in time, I would be irritable out of nowhere and never knew. But now that I can pay attention to it, usually like it'll be my pants are too tight, or you know, this shirt doesn't fit right, or you know, there's stuff stuck to the bottom of my feet because like I don't have socks on, or like something like that. That's a tip too that I just want to slide in. Like if you ever witness an autistic person, like verbal or nonverbal, having some kind of meltdown, like make sure that their feet and their hands are to their standards. You know, like a lot of the times that is clean. I don't want to say clean because some autistics might be different, but just make sure, because our feet and our hands are so sensitive and I don't know why. It seems like I'm just feeling out the whole world with my feet. Like even with thick shoes on, I can still feel every single little pebble underneath my feet as I walk down the street, and I'm hyper aware of it. And so when there is stuff on my feet, it's like that's all I can think about. And so just make sure their hands and their feet are comfortable, as strange as that might sound. And that's not just me. I've heard that and witnessed that. So many autistics, again, verbal and nonverbal, just it's important to us. So autism and irritability, you got to get in front of it. Sorry, I keep pulling myself back. You got to get in front of it. Scheduled breaks. Keyword being scheduled. If I don't schedule a break for this time or like set my little timer, then the break just won't happen because I get so just fully immersed in whatever I'm working on, whether it's a preferred activity or an unpreferred activity. I'm just fully in the zone. Not necessarily enjoying it if it's an unpreferred, but I still need to kind of get my brain into this loop of doing something in order to complete tasks a lot of the time. I use music to do that a lot. I'm trying not to get off track, but I'm still kind of holding in my brain what we're supposed to kind of be revolving around, and that is autism and irritability. So first I wanted to talk about the ways that we can avoid it, but that's going to be different for everybody, because the main thing is schedule breaks and schedule relaxing activities. And I say relaxing because they might not be relaxing for other people, especially for autistic people. Like yoga is supposed to be super relaxing, and it is relaxing for me, but I have to do it alone, and I have to do it like without a video. I have to do it my way, let my body kind of guide me. Otherwise the structure kind of makes me, I just almost like shut down, and then I avoid doing it. So yoga is not relaxing for me in the typical sense of the word. And But on the other hand, things like UFC, when I am watching the fights, I think there's just so much at stake because at any time, either one of these people could just get laid down and you just don't know. You're like, oh, what's going to happen? And in those moments, I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm looking at the clock. I'm looking at them. I'm looking at the refs. You know, it's like a fully immersive experience. It's what psychologists talk about when they describe flow state. You know, you can't let people, when they play sports or when they're running or when they're singing or dancing. Oh, dancing is such a great one for me. That is, I feel like dancing is really stimmy. And even in my last video, I guess I can talk about it since I did sneak a little clip in there, but I love butterfly knives. A lot of them are trainers, but they just, flipping them, especially to music, is just so stimmy to me, and I really love it. So just find that thing that makes you just fully in the zone, and it doesn't have to be a relaxing activity like what other people would say. It's just whatever pulls you into the present moment. So a lot of it is antecedent manipulation, and I just how to transition. I don't have my guide. Yeah, the second portion of this video is I would like to, I'm feeling a little better. Let's all just take a deep breath and make sure that our shoulders are not like raised up and clenched together, shall we? Whew. We all know yours aren't. So what do we do if we're already there? What do we do if we're already irritated? Well, that worked out, didn't it? You do breathe, but you kind of just have to catch it in the moment like that, especially if you're an autistic or some neurodivergent that, you know, because I actually see this in ADHD almost more than autism, perhaps. And I'm just talking about like who I've been exposed to. I'm not talking statistically or anything like that. Also important to slide in here, I'm not a mental health professional. I'm also not a medical professional. I am a like behavioral health professional, so not mental health. What to do if we're already here? I'm kind of like here today. And even when I did have the script, I was going to even say how hard it was for me to film today because I am feeling irritable, but I really had to push through it. So I had to push through two huge obstacles. Like I was irritable today and I didn't really want to do anything. And I just lost all of my notes for this video. So we're going off of memory that is incredibly foggy when I'm dysregulated. Whew, so thank you so much for bearing with me. I have to get this out there. I can't redo it. It's just been too much prep today. This is it. This is what we got. So what to do if we're already there? Everything that you do during this time, it needs to be intentional. Like, so we need to recognize the first step if we're already there. Here we are, getting back on track. Ding, 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 ding. I found it. Okay, first step, if you're already there and you're already really irritated, you need to recognize it. Chances are you have grown up in an environment and a society, if you're part of Western culture at least, that it's not okay to be upset and it's not okay to be grumpy. It's not okay to be irritable, especially if you're a female because you're a beep, you know? So you have to, but that pressure to not be in a bad mood makes me in an even worse mood because it's more anxiety, more pressure, more stress. So first and foremost, just say, I am upset right now, or I'm frustrated, I am overwhelmed. That's a great word, overwhelmed, because that can mean physical, mental, emotional. I'm overwhelmed. So you have to say that to yourself, and you have to welcome that. You know, you can't feel all that shame that you've always been told to feel. You don't want to feel that anymore. So you have to say, whew, I am very overwhelmed. I am irritable today. I've got this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Don't wallow, but just say, you know what? It makes sense that I feel this way. I love that. It was Mom on the Spectrum on YouTube. She said to use that phrase, and I have, and oh my gosh, so good. And it makes sense that I feel this way. And just hold that space for yourself. Next little segment of that is if you're with another person and you feel comfortable enough with them, it's okay to ask them for a second to step out. Just say, hey, I'm really overwhelmed. Whether it's a friend, whether it's a professional, I love that word again, overwhelmed. Because you can use it pretty much universally. I've found I can use it universally. I don't want to speak for everyone, but yeah, I can use that with my boss. I can use that with my friends. I can use that with my partner. Like, I'm so overwhelmed right now. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Or if you're really comfortable with them, you can say, you know, if I'm not back in 10 minutes, please come get me because I lose track of time when I'm dysregulated. This video could be 30 minutes right now and I would have no idea. Yeah, so first of all, if you're already there, you just have to acknowledge it. If you're with someone else, you need to tell them, and you probably need to remove yourself. Don't make a big deal out of it. Don't say, I'm so angry. I can't be around anyone right now. Like, just say, hey, I'm really overwhelmed. I'm going to step outside, blah, blah, blah. So just do that. But the thing is, when you do take that time away, whether it's 5 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, you get to decide. So when you do take that time, just be so intentional, be so compassionate with yourself. Don't try to push those feelings away. Just examine why you're irritated and validate yourself. You know, we're often tempted to call someone and just tell them all about it, right? You'll never believe what they did. And we'll be on the phone for like 30 minutes, but it's wasted because we're still upset at the end of the phone call, right? Because we've just been, yeah, you know, the whole 30 minutes. So that's not a good use of time, in my opinion. So instead, and don't distract yourself, you know, we all want to just flip through videos or maybe check our email, but don't distract from what's going on inside, but meet it with compassion. You know, whatever is deep, deep down, whatever looks back at you in the mirror, that little child inside, for me it's a little girl, I look at her and I just want to hold her. And in those moments, I do hold her because she's the one ultimately that wasn't given the tools, and she's still in there. So like, I'm giving her the tools because she's the one kind of throwing that fit. I take full responsibility because it is me. We are the same. I'm not saying, oh, it's her, it's not me. That's not what I'm doing here. But it's a very large segment of me. I am a mature woman. Now I'm almost 30 years old. But that little girl is still so close to me. She's inside all the time and I feel her. So you have to meet that small child inside with compassion. Like, all of that inner child work that you hear in therapy, it's not for nothing. It's because, you know, they never got what they needed. So now, whether you're an adult or a teenager or a kid, you have to give that to yourself because there's going to be a day where no one else is going to give you that. So whatever you do during that time that you take that time away, just don't scroll on your phone. Just reflect. You know, just listen to some of your favorite music. But do something where you can still simultaneously think. You know, take a little walk. I love getting the energy out. That's part of the antecedent manipulation. And also, it is sorry, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, no. The antecedent manipulation. Where is it? No. Come back. Antecedent manipulation. Yeah, so if you take a step away with another person, whatever you do when you're by yourself, do it with compassion. If you take a little scheduled break when you're by yourself, if you get irritated, take a break. That means that whatever task is a little bit too much for you right now, whether that's an environment, a project, a form, whatever it is, take a break. A conversation a lot of the time with another person. I need breaks from those all the time, but you need to tell them before you get worked up so they don't think that you're just using it as an excuse. You know, once you feel comfortable enough with this person, you need to tell them like, hey, sometimes I become really overwhelmed and I might just ask for a break in the middle of a conversation, but it's not you, it's totally me. I'll be back in a couple minutes and I'd love to resume the conversation. The key element there is you have to kind of give them reassurance that, you know, it will still be addressed. You just need a break. Because a lot of times people's first assumption is that you're using it as an excuse to kind of like get out of something. And so be careful there. But yeah, just do. And then if you're by yourself and you do take that break, Whatever you do, whether it's self-care, do your eyebrows, floss your teeth, brush your hair. And if you can't brush your hair, use your fingers. There's a lot of times where it's like 2 or 3 days where I just cannot, just for sensory reasons, like I can't bring myself to brush my hair. But use your hands. It's so much better than nothing. It keeps the tangles out. So just kind of do something for yourself with compassion. Like little asterisks, asterisk, asterisk. Yeah, with compassion, because that's why you're getting irritated, is because there's someone in there that was never listened to and they were never validated. And so now, because that's ultimately at the root. Like, we're getting a little too deep here, so we're going to keep it kind of on this level. But yeah, ultimately, that's what you can do if you're there. That's what you can do kind of to try to avoid it. It's going to look different for every person, but key elements: know what to do to avoid it, and then you're going to recognize it for yourself, tell others if you're with other people, and then take that time with compassion. And that's really all that I have. That's a general outline. I'm sorry this was so scattered. There's a little recap, but thanks so much for your patience. I don't like to edit because that's just another element. I feel like this was already 100 steps today, and I'm already so fatigued. And I can't believe I lost all of the notes, but that in a nutshell was it. So thanks for coming along. I'll see you guys next time. Didn't forget anything important. Oh no, my blanket, it's dirty. Thank you, Pong. Ooh, it's gonna be one of them days.